go.
Nice. Jacob, we're live. I'm going to share this real quick to our socials, and then we'll dive right into this quick breakdown.
Awesome.
So, do you think any big surprises thus far in the third round, or in the second or third round here?
I mean, not necessarily. I guess I'm a little surprised Troy Franklin's still available. The receiver out of Oregon. I think that, I mean, I had him as like an early round 2 guy. So for him to still be available in round 3, like, we're getting to the back half of round 3. I'm a little surprised, but then I expected Cooper Bebe to be off the board before 73. But yeah. I mean, other than that, stuff seems to be pretty, as expected. But I mean, Tip Ryman, though, I wasn't expecting him to go round 3. That was a little bit higher than I was expecting for sure.
It was interesting how that run on defensive tackles kind of hit, and I'm like, oh, let's save some of these guys. But I think it worked out. I think the Bears got a good spot here. So you ready to rock this? We'll get a podcast started here.
Yeah, no, I'm ready as I'll ever be. So let's do it.
And we got the his how to pronounce his name pulled up here on the screen because I'm terrible with names. Right,
it's a tough one, yeah.
All right, here we go. What is happening, Chicago Bears fans? This is the special draft edition of T-Formation Conversation. I'm your host, Lester Wiltfong, editor-in-chief, Windy City Gridiron. And I am joined, of course, by our lead draft analyst, Jacob Infante. Jacob, how are you doing so far tonight?
I mean, I'm doing great. I've just loved sitting here on my couch, watching all the picks come in without any other responsibilities in the world. So I'm loving it. And, the Bears got to make a pick, and I happen to be a fan of the pick. So, I mean, I'm on cloud 9 right now. I'm living my best life, truly.
Yale left tackle, Kiran Amegadjie. Did I get that right?
Yeah.
Shout out to Jeff Burkus. He sent this the way to pronounce it to one of my DMs because he knows that I am not good with the with names. So Kiran Amegadjie, and that's probably the last time I'm going to say his last name for the rest of the show. From now on, he'll just be Kiran. So Jacob, initial thoughts of this pick right now?
Yeah, so this is one I'm a little bit surprised that he was available where the Bears ended up taking him, just because he was, the consensus top FCS small school player in this class. I had him as a top 60 player. I had him number 58 overall. And I mean, in retrospect, I guess I understand why he fell into the third round, just because he had an injury that caused him, like, he got a Senior Bowl invite and a combine invite, but he wasn't able to participate in drills in either of those. So, I mean, I guess there are the small school concerns, what have you. But at the same time, this is someone with a really high ceiling. And, I mean, obviously he made his bread and butter at left tackle, also has experience at left guard from his time at Yale, a 3-year starter. He was an FCS All-American in 2023, even though he didn't finish the season, which, I think that speaks to just how good he was.
What was the injury he had in college?
Was
it a quad or something?
I have it written down. It was a season-ending quad injury.
But it wasn't like something that's like going to be long-term. I'm assuming he's expected to be fine here, moving forward. I think he'll be good to go.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, this shouldn't be anything that fans should be worried about. It's just, a momentary sort of thing. By all accounts, he's in, pretty good health right now, and he should be good to go for when camp starts up. But yeah, I think that, from a pure tape perspective, there's a lot to like with him.
Local kid. Yeah. So that kind of that's the trend that Ryan Poles has. Every year he finds some guys local. I believe he grew up a Bears fan. I saw someone shared some old tweets from him saying, Bear down forever, something like that. So local kid, Hinsdale, Illinois, Bears fan. Now he's living his dream with Chicago. And you said he played left tackle and some guard.
Yes.
But he's a bit raw as a prospect, isn't he?
Yeah, and I think that plays a little bit of a role into it too. And, him being a smaller school guy, you can say that, maybe once he makes it to the NFL, he'll have a little bit of, more refinement, more hands-on training from NFL caliber coaching. But That's not to knock the staff at Yale. Just realistically, once you get to the NFL, it is a bit of a step up. In terms of what he's a little bit raw at, I think that, there's some times where he's climbing to the second level. He has a tendency to over pursue. He's a really good athlete, but I think that if he can get a little bit better of breaking down in space and taking precise angles, getting to that second level, I think it would really benefit him. There's still some instances where he can, struggle a little bit against more exotic pass rushing systems, whether it's, stunts, delayed blitzes, more exotic rushing looks can occasionally give him trouble, but you're looking at someone who's produced at a very high level at the collegiate level. He's someone he allowed 1 sack in 3 seasons, only 5 hits in 3 seasons, and he only played in 4 games in 2023, but didn't allow a sack or a hit in any one of those. I think that, for what he is, he's a little bit raw. He's a small school guy, and he got hurt near the end of the year. He's someone with tremendous physical attributes. He's got unbelievable arm length. It's the second longest arms of any offensive tackle in this class. So he's 36 1/8 inch long arms, and that's 95th percentile for offensive tackles. So that's and he's well built, just a hair under 6'5.5". He's 323 pounds, moves incredibly well in pass protection. The lateral quickness is impressive. He fires off the ball well in the run game, and he blocks his ass off. I think that's something that Poles and Eberflus are really going to buy into, is how he keeps his legs churning in the run game, how he maintains, active hands to, hand fight and get inside placement and pass protection. There's really a lot to like with Kiran, and I think that just ultimately, I think if he didn't get hurt, you're looking at him as a top 50 pick. So to get him at 75, I think is very good value.
So some of the stuff I read about him, he's a little better in the running game than he is the passing game at this point in his career. Was Yale's offense more predominantly to the run?
It was in 2022.
Okay.
It was a little bit more balanced, closer to 50-50 over the last 2 years. There was a pretty heavy trend towards pass blocking in 2021, but the last 2 seasons, it was pretty close to 50-50. I think maybe a little bit more run blocking snaps than pass protection snaps. But yeah, I'd say not as pass heavy as some of the air raid or some of the spread systems that we see in college, but for what it's worth, I do think that, he still has more than enough experience in traditional pass sets. And, I think the run blocking should suit him well at the NFL level.
So you talk about his length, 36 1/8 inch arm, 6'5", good size, good length, smaller school, kind of has the same, profile as a Braxton Jones. Kind of similar attributes. This guy's a good athlete. Of course, the injury, he didn't work out at the combine or his program, anything like that. So there are no actual testing numbers for him. But you're saying stuff. All the scouts I've read said he's a good athlete. It kind of shows up on tape. You just put up a quick little mini film breakdown on Windy City Gridiron. So make sure you guys all check that out as soon as you finish the podcast here. So moving forward as a rookie, 3rd round pick, you would like these guys to play right away, but a lot of times offensive linemen, it takes them a little while, especially these guys they pick here. The Bears don't really need him for a role as a rookie. So do you see him kind of earning reps somewhere along the line early, or do you think he's going to be more of a project where he's one of these guys that they kind of bring along slowly? Maybe he doesn't dress for a few weeks till he gets, ready for the pro game. But you said tackle experience, guard experience. Where do you see his home in the NFL?
I think he's a tackle. I think that he has some, obviously the guard experience, and I think it's a little bit different than a Braxton Jones, where I think that Kiran's a bit more stout. He's got a stronger anchor, a bit more of a thick frame, whereas Braxton might be a little bit more, I don't want to say lanky because he's still, quite well built, but I think, Amegadjie could project as a guard at the next level if need be. I think the value with him right out of the gate is going to be as that swing tackle, as the more or less the 6th man along the offensive line. And I think just the depth on the offensive line in general is a lot better than we've seen in Chicago in some time with let's just say Coleman Shelton's the starter at center. You're going to have Ryan Bates and Kiran Amegadjie as your first two backup offensive linemen. I think that's Ryan Bates is someone who's proven he can do pretty well in a starting role, and Amegadjie is someone with, I think quality starting upside. Yeah. So that, right out of the gate, I think that's going to suit Chicago very well. He might kick into guard at sometimes, especially I think if Ryan Bates starts at center. I don't know necessarily if Coleman Shelton's going to play as much guard. So if Tevin Jenkins goes down, which, he struggled with injuries in the past, if Nate Davis goes down, which he missed some time last year, I could see Amegadjie sliding in as one of those guards potentially. So I don't know. I don't think this is as much of a 2024 pick as much as it is a future pick. So and again, I think, like you said, offensive lineman, it can take a little bit of time to make that adjustment. And him being a small schooler, I think that it might take a little bit of time for him to adjust. So, keeping him as a backup with a little bit of, I guess, not necessarily a redshirt year, because I expect him to play in some capacity as a key reserve. But, someone who's not going to be starting all 17 games realistically. I think that's going to suit him very well. And, as opposed to if he got drafted somewhere where he was expected to start right away, the expectations might be higher right out of the gate when, as a small school offensive tackle, or just an offensive tackle in general, you're going to face a learning curve. So I think that this is probably going to be best for him to, kind of do a slow churn of his development and, slowly but surely. I don't want to say learn the game, because he's played quite a bit at the collegiate level, but I guess improve his technique and get ready to maximize his physical attributes with, a better NFL level of competition.
Well, it's a big jump going from Yale to the NFL. That's a learning curve right there for these guys. But like you said, the Bears did address the O-line. They also got Matt Pryor, who's going to kind of be a swing tackle also. Larry Borum still around, has kind of played some tackle guard for you. So like you said, there's some pieces in place. Ryan Poles did a pretty good job here, adding some vets to the O-line room, to where O-line wasn't as big of a need as we saw last year. So having this guy come in, he'll have a chance to kind of learn from these vets here. Like you said, he has the athleticism. Obviously, he went to Yale, so he has a pretty good brain up there. So so you have that going for him. So I think it's a good pick. I mean, he's not going to play much as a rookie. And you don't want to play much as a rookie, but I think the upside is there, and I think that's what I'm hearing here.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's certainly some, and maybe not so much year one, but I think he can start in a pinch. I think this is definitely more of a long-term play for someone who does have that starting upside, someone I do think could be a good starter in the NFL. So to get him round 3, I think is very good value. Whether or not he does, we'll see, because, offensive tackles, especially in, day 2, can be a little bit hit or miss. But I certainly think he has the tools. He has the arm length. He has the athleticism. He has the high motor. And being able to talk with him back in October, he was the first prospect I interviewed for the 2024 draft class.
Yeah, that's right.
Being able to see what he's made of from a character perspective, I feel like he's going to be coachable. He's going to bring, he's going to give it his all. And that's what you can, that's all you can ask for at the end of the day. He has the stuff that you can't teach, and he has the brain, he has the intelligence and the mindset to where he wants to learn more. So I think that's the perfect combination. So
he seemed to fit the athletic profile better than like Larry Borum, who Ryan Poles inherited. So I think right there, Larry Borum, I think his spot in the roster was kind of up in the air as it was because of some of the moves they made. But now adding a swing tackle who has some guard experience, same thing Larry Borum was. Larry Borum also had that payroll increase because of his the incentive bonuses. So Larry Borum moving into this season, he has a pretty significant raise from what the Bears were expecting of paying him.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised to be Larry Borum be a cap casualty at some point, unless he wants to take a cut. And getting this guy here with Kiran, maybe he takes his place in the roster.
I think that's likely. And I mean, that's not a knock on Borum. I think I think if the Bears do cut him, he should be able to find a job as a backup offensive lineman somewhere. But realistically, if you're going to be paying him, I think it's like, 3-4 million, something like that. Whatever
I think it was 3.5. I think,
yeah, something like that. I think that sounds about right.
That's too much.
Yeah, it's too much for him realistically, and I think that the Bears, with where they're at, they, quite frankly, at least I expect to be a significant upgrade at swing tackle in Amegadjie, and they'll be getting him for a lot cheaper. So I don't necessarily think there's the need to pay Larry Borom that $3.5 million. Someone will pay him, maybe not $3.5 million, but I think, someone will be willing to bring him on in that last year of, I guess the last year of his rookie deal. But if they're cutting him, it doesn't necessarily matter. But I just think, you've got, say if Bates starts at center, you have Amegadjie, you have Coleman Shelton, you have Jatiri Carter, you have Matt Pryor and Jake Curhan that you brought in. You have Doug Kramer still in the organization. Actually, I think, hold on, let me double check.
Were they teammates in high school?
That's what I'm trying to think.
Doug Kramer? Yeah, I think
Doug Kramer also was a Hinsdale Central guy. I have to, all right, this is, okay, my wheels are spinning.
There it is.
There you go. Yeah, so he started, Doug Kramer graduated in 2016. Amegadjie graduated in 2019. So maybe
they overlapped a little bit,
Maybe they overlapped 1 year.
They saw each other in the weight room at least.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah, but that's interesting. They've got two Hinsdale Central players, both on the offensive line. So that's a small world. That's I didn't even realize that. That's crazy that Doug Kramer brought us to this realization. So
Doug Kramer. He finally did something quality for the channel here.
Yeah. There you go, Doug Kramer.
All right, Jacob, I appreciate you jumping in with us. We will see you again. I'm not sure who's going to do the host show tomorrow. This was supposed to be Jeff Burks, but he's having some weather issues in Iowa. So if you guys are in Iowa out there, be safe. A lot of trainers out there where you're at, so be safe. Get in the basement if you have to, and then the draft will go on, and we will be back with you guys tomorrow in the 4th round, unless the Bears make another trade tonight. But I'm not sure that's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. The 3rd round's winding down here. There's still some decent players available, so we'll I guess we'll have to see. But I'm not expecting them to do anything. But
all right, I'm cool with it if it's a 4-man draft, as long as we got Caleb in Rome. So
yeah,
whatever else happens is gravy, man. I'm good to go.
Exactly. Yeah. This is just Karan's just the icing on the cake, but it's a very delicious icing.
Nice.
I guess that's what that's a weird way for me to put it, but that's what I'm going to go with, because I've already said it and I can't dig myself.
You can't take it back. I'm the guy that the Trends tribute. I got my Braxton Jones Arnold shirt on.
Ooh, okay. Yeah.
So we're talking about another old lineman is the delicious icing on the cake.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm going to cut that up. I'm going to share that on social media. Jacob's delicious icing on the cake. So for Jacob, I'm Lester. Till next time, guys, bear down. And we're out of here. Are we out of here?